Hi everyone. In today's class, I'm going to discuss about limitations of perceptron. Okay, limitations of perceptron. This is about today's class. Before going to discuss this limitations of perceptron, um, let me explain the yesterday's concept. Let me explain, not explain, revise the yesterday's concept of perceptron convergence. So what is perceptron convergence? Perceptron convergence is one of the theorem. The perceptron convergence theorem states that for any data set which is linearly separable, the perceptron learning rule is guaranteed to find a solution in finite number of steps. This is about a perceptron convergence. So this perceptron convergence follows a perceptron learning rule. So this perceptron learning rule would find a solution for any kind of data set. Okay, any kind of data set within a finite number of steps. So for which kind of data set it would give the result or solution in a finite number of steps, in the sense the data set must be separable, okay, linearly. Which data set, okay, should have the capability to separate into the categories or classes by using a linear line. If we have such kind of data, then okay, we can find a solution for that data in a finite number of steps. For example, okay, here you have some set of number of data points, and there is here some set of data points are there. Okay, these all the data points under A. If suppose here we have, there is a two-dimensional space, 2D space. Assume this is the 2D space. Suppose if you want, these are the total data points in your data set. If you want to separate these data points by using a linear line, is it possible or not? If it is possible, okay, then you may find, you may apply the perceptron rule for this kind of data. Okay, let us see. It is possible to draw a linear line or not by to separate these values. Okay, I'm going to draw a linear line, single linear line to separate the data points. Yes, it is possible, isn't it? By drawing a single line, I have separated these total data points into two categories or two classes. Okay, by drawing a single linear line, I have separated the total data sets into two classes, two groups. Like this, I can classify the data. I can classify the data into two categories or two classes. If you have this kind of data, then you may, okay, apply a perceptron rule to find a solution for the data. This is the rule of a perceptron convergence. Is it clear? If you have data points like this also, is it possible to separate into two groups? No. If it is your data set, okay, if it is your data set, is it possible to separate this total data into two groups by drawing a single linear line in between these No, it's not possible. We can't separate this data. Okay. For this data, this perceptron theorem is, perceptron rule is not going to work. Okay. Here it's impossible to separate. If suppose we have this kind of data, it's impossible to separate the data points into two groups, isn't it? If suppose if you have this kind of data, this perceptron rule is not give any kind of solution to you. Okay, remember this point also. And after this, here we are going to see the algorithm of this perceptron convergence. For that algorithm, here you need to know some the basic diagram of artificial neural network. This is the basic diagram of artificial neural network with m number of inputs. Those input nodes are represented by using x1, x2, xm, and corresponding weights represented by using w1, w2, wm. But here we are having one more w naught is there. This is called a bias. As you know that this is the w naught is also called as a bias. Okay. And here this is net input, calculation of net input, right? Calculation of net input. This is called y in. This net input is called y input. After that, here the y input is applied to a activation function. This activation function is also called as a threshold function. This threshold function is used to represent by using theta, right? The output of this activation function, this is the output place. This is the output place for this activation function. The output of activation function is called y of n. Y of n. What is y of n here? Y of n is a actual response. What it is? Actual output or actual response. This is the y of n. Y of n is from the activation function. This activation function, here we have applied some threshold function. The threshold function is represented by using theta, isn't it? So y of n equal to, you may write y of n equal to f of threshold function of y of in. Y of in. What is this y of in here? It is a summation of, this is the y of in, isn't it? This is y of in. What is the y of in? It's a summation of xi into wi plus bias. B of n is a bias. Xi into wi plus bias is called y of in. So the actual output, the actual response is equal to f of y of in. And here we need to know one more word, that is d of n. What is d of n? D of n is desired response. Okay, this is the place to get a desired response, d of n. So what is desired response? Desired response is called the expected response. What is the desired response? Desired response is a expected response by this network is called d of n. Right? Always the d of n is equal to y of n. This d of n is equal to y of n. Okay. So if you want to find out a error rate, in between expected outcome and actual outcome, then you may call, that is called d of n minus y of n. That is called error function. How we are going to find a error within this network? Error function equal to d of n minus y of n, which means expected outcome minus actual outcome. Then it would give some kind of result. That result is called a error. If both are same, we won't get any kind of error, isn't it? If we get error, which means if we get error in the sense this d of n is not equal to y of n, in this kind of situation, at this kind of situations only we will get the error function. Then to solve these, to solve these situation, here we are going to change the weights of this network. What we are going to do here? Here we are going to update the weights of the network. Okay, for which purpose? If you want to make these unequal outcomes into a equal outcomes. The learning rule is always d of n equal to y of n. If it is d of n equal to y of n, we won't get any kind of errors. That is the thing we are expecting from this network. If it is not equal, the expected outcome is not equal to actual outcome means, okay, then this network produced some kind of error. How to rectify these error at this situation? Okay, for that here you are going to do a finite number of steps. Okay, to solve this error function, here you are going to find out, you are going to perform a finite number of steps. Into that particular steps, here you are going to update the, not this, this is bias. Okay, you may change sometimes bias also. Okay, even bias value on weight 1, weight 2, weight m, you are going to update the weights of this network by doing, okay, by updating these weights. Then you may solve this problem, unequal problem. Okay, this is the actual concept of perceptron convergence. Here you have one small algorithm is there, that this perceptron convergence algorithm and normal perceptron algorithm almost both are same. Almost both are same. Let us see step by step. First step is initialization. At the step of initialization, here we are going to set the bias value is 0. The bias value is 0. And here you are going to take steps, a number of steps for x1, x2, xm. Okay. So those values are, for each step, those values are increased by 1. Okay. And step 2 is activation function. At this activation function, here you are going to find out a, okay, give a input vector of xn. For example, it may be a x1. It may be a x1. For the second case, it may be a x2. For third case, it may be a x3. Like that, each and every step, it is increased. Okay. After that, here you are going to perform some computations for actual response. For these computations, first of all, you need to calculate y in. So y in equal to bias plus summation of I equal to n into xi into wi. Okay, you need to perform this y of in. You need to calculate this y of in by using this formula. After calculating this y of in, you need to find out the y of n. Y of n is equal to f of y in. Y of n equal to f of y in. F of y in is 1. When it is 1, the theta value is greater than y of in, then you may substitute with f of y of in is 1, which means, suppose assume the theta value is, okay, 0.5. Assume the theta value is 0.5. This is the threshold function. It is also called as activation function. Okay, y of in, after calculating this particular formula, I mean, after solving this particular formula by substitute some values, suppose you have get the value of 1 for y of in. Now check 1 is greater than 0.5, isn't it? Then, so 1 is greater than, this is the case, y is greater than theta. So automatically, what is the y of n value? Y of n value is 1. You may substitute with 1. Right? Clear? So this is how you should calculate the y of n. This is the calculation of actual outcome. Then you should check here at this point, you need to check the actual outcome, which means 1. Now what is the y of n value? Y of n is 1. The y of n is equal to d of n or not. If it is equal to d of n, so better to stop at this place, and you should go for a step 2. If it is equal to d of n value, okay, you need to go back for again in step 2, n value is 2. Okay, if it is not equal to d of n, y of n is not equal to d of n, in such a case, you should go for 4th step, that is adaptation of weight vector, which means changing a weight of a particular node. Now we are at the place of x1, right? So now we are going to change the weight of w1, right? For that, you should calculate this formula. If you want to update the weight of a x1, then you should use this formula. What is this formula? W of n plus 1, which means new. This is for new weight. New weight equal to old weight. W of n is old weight, which means W of 1, plus mu is a learning rate into d of n minus y of n. D of n minus y of n in the sense it's the error rate. Calculation of error rate. Right, d of n minus y of n into x of n. X of n in the sense x of 1. If it is x of 1 is fired, that is should be represented using 1. Okay. So this is the formula for updation of a weight. Then after that, again you should go for step 2. Go back to step 2 to increment the time step, which means n value is 2, like that. This is the algorithm for perceptron convergence. Almost is equal to general perceptron algorithm, isn't it? Okay, this is till now we have discussed the perceptron convergence. This is the yesterday's class. Now in today's we are going to see the limitations of perceptron. So what are the limitations of perceptron? The first perceptron limitation is the perceptron can take only one of the two values as output, either 0 or 1. Okay, always the perceptron would give the result in the form of 0 or 1. This is the one of the limitation of the perceptron. Okay, either this total values be fall within the 1 or 0, isn't it? That is the one of the limitation. Coming to second limitation is perceptrons can only classify linearly separable sets of vectors. Okay, so it can always classify linearly separable set of vectors. If a straight line or a plane can be drawn to separate the input vectors into their correct categories, okay, the input vectors are linearly separable. Okay, if suppose that is also one of the limitation, which means suppose if you have the number of data points, okay, so these data points should be separate linearly. This is If we want, these are the total data points in a vector. If we have some data, okay, this suppose if you want to if you want to separate these data points into two categories, then you can draw a linear line, isn't it? This is the separation of the data points, whichever you have in your input data. So if it is separate by using this linear line, then only this kind of data only we are going to consider to take considered as example of this particular perceptrons. Otherwise we won't accept. Suppose your data points are like this. Already we have seen in previous example, right? Okay, suppose your data points are like this. Okay, it's impossible to separate these data points into two groups by drawing a single linear line, isn't it? We can't separate these data points. You can try in multiple ways. It's not possible to draw. You can draw like this, or you can try like this, or you can try like this. You can use multiple number of ways to separate these data points, but it's impossible to separate into two categories these data points. So that is also one of the limitation of a perceptron. Okay, if your data points is like this, wait. If your data points are like this, then also you can separate these data points by drawing a linear line in this way. Okay, with the data points are like this, you can separate into two categories, two classes. If your data points are like this, you can separate into two categories. But your data points in this way, it's impossible to separate, isn't it? That is also one of the drawback, sorry, limitation. And coming to the third one, what is the third point here? Okay. The third point is the perceptron can only model linearly separable functions. Okay, such functions such as following functions. It can be applied for only few functions. It can be applied on some of the operations which we have seen in earlier classes. Those are, if you have a AND function, you may apply this perceptron. You have OR, you can apply this perceptron. If it is a complement kind of data, you can apply. But if it is a XOR, kind of data you have, okay, it's impossible to, you can't model these data points as linearly separable. Okay, why? Because XOR having positive and negative instances, it's a combination of positive and negative instances. Okay, like these points, so in such a case, it's impossible to separate this kind of points by drawing a single line or a hyperplane. So you can apply for AND operation, which kind of AND operation or complement, but not for XOR type of data. This is the one of the limitation of a perceptron. And coming to the last one, the perceptron training always converge with training data X plus and X minus. Okay, it will be converted data into X plus or X minus. For example, this is the your data. you can be represented one category of data into x minus, one category of data into x plus. You may call one kind of data into x plus or one kind of data into x minus, or this same, this is also same. One is x plus and one is x minus, another one is x minus, right? Okay, so perceptron always converts the training data into two categories only. One is x plus, second one is x minus. These are the 5 limitations of a perceptron. What is the first limitation? The first limitation is about it can be, okay, the value, it can give only two kinds of outcomes, that is either 0 or 1. That is the first limitation. Second limitation is, okay, it can classify linear separably sets only. It can classify the linearly separable sets only. Okay, that is the second one. Third one is, okay, it can be handle only the following functions, that is AND operation, OR operation, and also complement operation. It won't suitable for XOR. It won't suitable for XOR kind of function. Why? Because XOR is a combination of positive and negative instances. It would give the, it would have the data points, okay, like in this way. It's a mixing of, it's a mixing of all the data points here, right? So that's why like this. So that's why we can't separate these data points by drawing a single line or a hyperplane here. And coming to fifth one, the perceptron is always converge with training data of x plus and x minus. So the two categories can be represented. One is x plus and second one is x minus. But in some in one place, which means in previous concept, that may be called +1 or -1, +1 or -1. You may call it as x plus or x minus, or you may call it as category x plus 1 category, -1 category. These are the two categories of representing a D of n. If D of n expected outcome is either +1 or -1. +1 is one category of data, -1 is another category of data. This +1 is represented as x plus, this -1 is represented as x minus. So these are the two categories. You may say either this is +1 and this is -1. Okay, this is x minus now, so you may say -1. This is x plus now, +1. Same. Okay, this is about the limitations of perceptron.